What's up, guys? I'm standing up for this one. You know that Pixar theory? I want to do something like that. I want to see if I can connect all of the Nintendo properties that I can, through whether it's Easter eggs or crossovers, to make them seem like it's all part of one connected multiverse. Now that sounds easy, right? That's where you're wrong. Because the big twist is, I'm not going to be using any big crossovers, so no Smash Brothers, for example. The other thing would be, it has to be a direct connection, so it can't be like a parody. Even though Ingo and Malin, I believe his name is, from Ocarina of Time looks like Mario and Luigi, it's not actually Mario and Luigi, so that doesn't count. It has to be something directly from one game in another game. Yo, sorry to interrupt. I want to give some credit to a channel called Sten and Noggin. Years ago they did a video about video game crossovers, but it hadn't been touched since then, and is outdated thanks to many games and updates coming out over the years. Because of that, I decided I'd switch up a couple rules to make it fun in my own little way, and fill in the shoes left behind. Anyway, check him out. He does cool videos talking about video games like Pokemon and other Nintendo games. Yeah, mostly Pokemon. And yeah, they're really well done too, so anyway. Alright, a good place to start would probably have to be Mario. I'm what they like to call in the industry, a klutz. You ever heard someone use the word klutz nowadays? Neither have I. Now, Mario's pretty easy. In The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, if you look through the castle windows, you can see portraits of Mario characters and locations and stuff. While we're on the topic of Mario and Zelda, I don't think it takes a genius to know that there's actually quite a few other connections between the two. I'm not super worried about how many connections there are. I'm more worried about just connecting how many specific series are connected to the web, if that makes sense. Next up, it's a pretty easy target to tackle next. We can tackle with Mario Kart. Because of Mario Kart 8, we have Link, who's playable. We also have Villager and Isabelle from Animal Crossing. These are playable as well. The Inklings are available in 8 Deluxe. There's also courses. Obviously, there's the Zelda one. Splatoon has a battle course. Mario Kart 7 has a couple based on the island of Woohoo Island from Wii Sports. Animal Crossing has its own stage, but now we can also add Excite Bike because of Excite Bike Arena. There's 2 F-Zero stages. And if we're talking cars and vehicles, there's the Steel Diver. Again, we're still not done with Mario Kart because thanks to Amiibo, we can get a bunch of costumes in there. There's Kirby, Metroid, Star Fox, and Pikmin. There's also another Mario Kart game that has crossover, and that's Mario Kart DS because that has Rub. I don't know why they picked Rub, but hey, that's cool, I guess. Are we done with Mario Kart? Yeah, we're done with Mario Kart. Let's go. Woo! And before I move on to the other stuff, I want to mention, I'm going to count the Donkey Kong series and WarioWare separately, but obviously they're still connected to Mario. But of course, we're not done with Mario yet. Mario really gets around. What can I say? But we all know Mario's a plumber, right? But that's not the only job he's had. Apparently, he was some kind of pilot in an old game called Alleyway. He was the referee in Punch-Out. He's also in baseball, apparently, and tennis. Oh, yeah, and in case you were wondering, in Pilot Wings, you can find Mount Rushmore, and if you shoot Mount Rushmore, you see Mario's face on it. Not gonna lie, he's kind of self-entitled.
Like an STD that never goes away.
Exactly. See, you get it. Whoops. He's also in a bunch of Nintendo golf games. I forgot to print that logo off. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. We're not done yet with the massive ones that we can cover. Thanks to good old Kirby right here. Great Cave Offensive. It is a minigame in Kirby Superstar where you find a bunch of treasures. I don't remember exactly how many, but a lot of those treasures are from a bunch of other different franchises. And I'm going to pull my notes out for this because there is no way in any planet ever I would ever be able to memorize all of the games that are included in this. You can get Metroid, Mario, Zelda, F-Zero, Fire Emblem, Earthbound, and Golden Sun.
Yeah! Fire Emblem!
Yeah, Fire Emblem! I know so much about Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is so cool. Dude, the only Fire Emblem characters I know are from Smash Brothers. Of course, Mario and Kirby aren't the only ones that have a bunch of connections, because then we have Animal Crossing right here, which is connected to like a bunch of different series. They're already all on the web, actually. So I'm just gonna draw the lines. And then we have this guy right here, Miitopia, that has a bunch of other costumes based on a bunch of Nintendo properties because of Amiibo. Alright, I think we have one more major one to cover. And if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan, you probably knew this was coming. There's this game that was exclusive to Japan. It's called Captain Rainbow. It had a bunch of cameo appearances from specifically obscure Nintendo characters, which included Little Mac from Punch-Out, Birdo from Super Mario, Lip from Panel Pond, Drake Redcrest from Chibi Robo, Soldiers from Advance Wars, Hikari from Shin Onigashima. I apologize if I butcher any Japanese. Whoever the heck Mappo and Tao are from Giftpia, Takamaru from the mysterious Murasame Castle, golf players from the NES golf game, the Devil from Devil World, and Crazy Tracy from The Legend of Zelda. This is gonna be such a mess. Alright, we can take a bit of a break, connect some of these games together that haven't been connected yet. Just some one-off stuff. Like in Splatoon, you can find a hidden graffiti that has an 8-bit Octorok from Zelda, and I guess while we're at it, there's an 8-bit blooper from Mario. Also, Pilotwings Resort for the 3DS takes place on Woohoo Island from the Wii Sports games. Donkey Kong makes an appearance in the NES golf game, and you're able to box him in Punch-Out for the Wii. In Star Fox Assault, you can find the Octoman from F-Zero, which is a weird one. I don't know why Octoman, but hey, whatever fits, I guess. In F-Zero, you can find an NPC talking about Fire Emblem.
You said F-Zero had an NPC talking about Fire Emblem.
Oh, whoops. Let me run that by again. In Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, you can find an NPC talking about Fire Emblem. I'm so good at this, Colton. I'm not rusty. Apparently, you can also find Tao the dog from Giftpia in Chibi Robo, in case anyone cares. You can find Peppy Hair from Star Fox in Steel Diver. There's a golden Mario statue in that game I have to try to pronounce again, Shin Onigashima. Wii Music contains music from Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, and F-Zero. Come on, I got a bunch of empty space here. I need some new stuff in here. You know what, yeah, let's get some new stuff in here. Pokemon. We don't have Pokemon yet. Why don't we have Pokemon yet? I don't know. Surprisingly, it's not as crossover heavy as Mario is. Pokemon Stadium 2, you can find a television with an N64 sitting in front of it, where you can play a bunch of different, or not play them, they're just on the screen of a bunch of different Nintendo games. And now that we're done with Pokemon, Splatoon had a couple Splatfest events. There was one for Pokemon, and there was one for Mario way back in Splatoon 2. Now with Pokemon, we can include a few more. There is an Art Academy game for Pokemon. Can you guess what it's called? If you guessed Pokemon Art Academy, you would be correct. And there is a Game Freak made game called Harmonite that includes some Pokemon music in it. What's next? What am I missing? Oh, we're missing KiKiD. Apparently Pitt is a big player, plays a lot of video games because he mentions Brain Age.
Hold on a second. Your math is a little off. You might want to break out the Brain Age, pal.
Dr. Mario.
Power pieces, huh? Cool. Looks like all that Dr. Mario's about to pay off.
And Donkey Kong in there.
I guess the Chariot Master has played Donkey Kong.
And thanks to KiKiD now, well, we didn't really need KiKiD for this, but I'm using this as a transition to Nintendogs because he mentions Nintendogs as well.
We're gonna rack up some serious Nintendo trainer points together!
Which also has a bunch of furniture based on a bunch of Nintendo properties. Of course, one of them is Mario, because why wouldn't it be? Alright, we're about a couple retro things. Duck Hunt, the ducks from Duck Hunt are in the shooter game for We Play. If we're talking balloon fight, there's a game literally called Tingle's Balloon Fight. Because if there's anything I associate with balloon fight, it's Tingle from The Legend of Zelda. What if I just go in my own order? What if I just pick up a logo and then just go from there? What if I tried that? I'm feeling rebellious today. Super Smash Brothers. In Kirby, in the Amazing Mirror, you can find Master Hand as a secret boss. Well, he's not a secret boss, but he is a boss. There is a Smash ability that lets you basically have the exact same moveset as Kirby in Smash Brothers. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to include Smash Brothers because it's a big crossover game, but I'm only going to include something like that if it's something that originates from Smash Brothers and outside of its own game. Like I said, Master Hand and Kirby. How about HAL Laboratory? The creators of Kirby, there's a few stuff in here. Box Boy, it appears in Kirby Star Allies. In Arcana, he appears in the Game Over screen for some reason. Part-Time UFO, a fairly recent HAL Laboratory game, has Kirby characters appearing in it.
What's the name again?
Part-Time UFO.
Okay, what is it?
It's where you play as a UFO and have a part-time job.
Nuh-uh.
Starfy, Wario appears in Starfy 3. Xenoblade, everyone's favorite Rex's salvaging gear from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 can be obtained after an update in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Drill Dozer. This is the best part of the video because I have no idea what some of these games are even about. Drill Dozer has costumes based on Mario. Oh, I forgot HAL Laboratory game called Tracks. Apparently one of the bosses from it appear in a mini-game in Kirby Mass Attack. Game & Watch is easy. There is a Mario and a Zelda themed Game & Watch. Rhythm Heaven. Rhythm Heaven has a mini-game called WarioWare that features characters from the WarioWare series. Codename Steam, if you scan Fire Emblem Amiibo, Fire Emblem characters appear in the game. Next we have an old title called Star Tropics. You can find a guy riding a Koopa Troopa, and in Animal Crossing, Gulliver, when he washes up on shore, sometimes he'll mention a town called Coral Cola. Yeah, Japanese mahjong game.
Nuh-uh. What connects to that?
There's Mario themed levels.
Okay, you know, why did I even ask?
Clubhouse games. Can you guess what it's connected to, Colton?
Joey Robo.
If you guessed Mario, you're correct. There are Mario themed playing cards, as well as all of the golf courses are the exact same courses from Wii Sports. Big Brain Academy. Can you guess what's connected to it? If you guessed Mario, you're correct. Big Brain Academy features objects from both Mario and Zelda. Trace Memory. Can you guess what it's connected to?
Steel Diver.
It's actually got a book in it called the Hyrule Chronology. The Legend of Zelda Chronology. Stunt Race FX features billboards with Kirby on it. And Mario. Custom Robo actually mentions the planet of Zebes from Metroid. This game called Yu Yuki features a couple characters actually. Those characters appear in Kirby Dream Land 3. They also appear in Shin Onigashima again. I got that backwards. Characters from this game appear in this one. Alright, finally, we have Tomodachi Life. At one point, a me can say that they feel like playing a game with rupees in it. You can find a Rob in Tomodachi Life, and during something called a pity party, which is exclusive to Tomodachi Collection, someone will say, "Why is Luigi taller than Mario?" Look at that! All done! I know I'm missing some things like Sin and Punishment, arms, snipper clips, I guess. I don't know. Pretty happy with this. Wait a minute. Mario Kart arcade version. You play as Pac-Man and Don-Chan from Taiko. Mario Kart 8 also features costumes for Mega Man and Pac-Man and Sonic. Alright, so I think this might actually be a little deeper than I probably initially imagined. I don't think it's just Nintendo that's in on this. I think it might be a lot more than that. Like I mentioned, we can bring Namco in through Mario Kart, as well as Capcom through Mega Man and Sonic with Sega. Plus, the arcade version also includes references to Galaxian and Dig Dug as well, and Rally X. We can do some Microsoft, like Rare, Banjo-Kazooie, and Conker are both playable in Diddy Kong Racing. More Microsoft companies would be Bethesda with Amiibo. Skyrim for the Switch, you can get the Master Sword and the gear from Breath of the Wild. Okay, Activision. We can also technically bring Sony in here as well, because of Activision owns Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. But how am I going to bring those in there? Well, Skylanders. Skylanders had, exclusively in the Nintendo consoles, obviously, you can get Skylanders of Bowser and Donkey Kong, and then of course we know Spyro was literally in Skylanders since the beginning, and later on in the series you can get Crash Bandicoot Skylanders. Ubisoft. How about Ubisoft? Well, obviously there's Mario and Rabbids, but that's not good enough for you. Rayman Legends features costumes based on Mario and Luigi. What if I brought in Warner Brothers? Lego Dimensions?
Oh, yeah.
Lego Dimensions has
Sonic.
Midway, Sonic, and Portal. Kawaii Tecmo, I guess. There is a Pokemon game for the DS called Pokemon Conquest. That is a crossover between Pokemon and Nobunaga's Ambition. I don't know why, alright? That one baffles me. Konami. In a Metal Gear game, you can find figurines of Mario and Yoshi. And you think indie games are safe from this?
Hat in Time.
Yes, A Hat in Time. The Snatcher during the Death Wish says something along the lines of,
Did you know you could unlock Luigi by completing every death wish on the first attempt? I don't even know what that is, but that has to be genuine. I read it online.
Crypt of the Necrodancer had that Zelda crossover, Cadence of Hyrule. Guacamelee is also connected to Zelda because it had a guy named Error, which is a character from Zelda 2, in the original Bloons. I'm pretty sure before it was even a tower defense game, there was a balloon that had Pac-Man on it. And when you pop the balloon, you control Pac-Man and pop a bunch of balloons. You have no idea how deep this rabbit hole goes. All this is just the tip of the iceberg, bro. And if I were to cover it all in one series, or one episode, we'd probably be here for several hours, and I don't think you guys want to sit through that. So, I'm gonna have to go do some more research. Because Lord knows we got a lot more than this. That being said, this is Sten, signing off. Goodbye.